Coming up on Point News, the City of Pittsburgh Police Department is taking a stand on the recent gun violence among teenagers. Those details straight ahead.
Star Wars The Force Awakens is almost in theater. Find out about a fan film shot right here in Pittsburgh that celebrates the franchise.
And man's best friend? Find out what a dog did to his owner that is causing quite a stir.
Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon, I'm Tashea Thompson.
And I'm Aubrey Henkin. There are many neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh that see gun violence on a regular basis.
Because of that, the chief of Pittsburgh Police took time recently to address the concerns of residents who say they are tired of those shootings. In response to the recent gun violence among teens, Pittsburgh Chief of Police Cameron McClay held a news conference to discuss the painful impact they're having on the community.
It extends past the victims and their families. It's felt throughout all of our communities, no matter what neighborhood you live in, no matter what high school you go to or which church you attend. You're feeling this fear.
Neighbors agree with the mayor that many of them are living in fear.
It scared me because I have a 2-year-old son and I live in an area where there's violence and a lot of back-on-back crime going on and a lot of family members and friends are dying and you never know who's next.
Chief says one of Pittsburgh's main concerns is that they don't have enough police officers on duty for the entire city.
We face, of course, as you see, we've got inequitable distribution of violent crime, but the demands for police services spread pretty nicely throughout the city. So a lot of times we're finding ourselves where we'd like to do more in terms of positive engagement or proactive problem solving, and we're finding ourselves in reactive mode because we don't have enough officers to be at all places at all times.
Residents, meantime, are fed up with the violence.
These shootings need to stop. They need to stop. I have nieces and nephews, and it's just not safe around here.
Reporter for Point News, I'm Tashea Thompson. Parking has always been tricky downtown, especially for Point Park students. But lately, it's been even more stressful. The parking garage on 4th Avenue is under construction, and several streets around campus are closed because of construction. Drivers who come downtown are trying to be patient, but they're not only complaining about how much time it takes, they're also complaining about the money.
When I did park in Pittsburgh consistently, the price of parking was tough. To be able to park downtown and have to pay, I paid I think $25 or $30 a day, could add up rather quickly. So that for me was a big impediment. I usually tried to park outside the actual Golden Triangle and walk in.
Well, they're hit or miss on tickets. Sometimes you can get away with it and they'll be cool and you don't get a ticket. Other times you got a fine of like $50. So being inconsistent is really annoying. Garage rates are terrible. I'm paying like $200 a month just to park my car. So that's absolutely ridiculous. That could be food, that could be towards school, that could be towards anything else but parking my car.
I think they could build more parking lots. That might help. If they lower the price, of course, then more people would park in, so that might be more of a pain. I think indirectly if they improve mass transit, so more people could ride mass transit.
Hopefully things will start to ease up since construction has just been completed on the new PNC towers. But until everything is finished, you might want to leave yourself extra time to find parking.
The parking garage on 4th Avenue is under construction, but the lack of parking spaces because of construction is just one problem. Too much noise is a whole other issue, and because of the garage being so close to campus, students and faculty are having a hard time concentrating.
Well, I have classes over in Patterson, and that's closer to the construction, so sometimes when I'm sitting in class, it's very quiet, and then all of a sudden I hear the jackhammer. And
you need to strain your ears to just hear what he's saying over the construction. It's very loud, and it can be very tough to focus.
No official word yet on a completion day for the construction project.
Congress is one step closer to the bipartisan budget deal. The tentative deal will modestly increase spending over the next few years, cutting a couple of social programs and raise the federal borrowing limit. The House passed the bill late Wednesday afternoon, and Senate leaders have promised to act quickly. The 2-year deal raised the nation's debt ceiling through March 2017.
People have always been told to put down their cigarettes because of the harsh effects it has on the body. Well, now they're being told to put down the bacon strips. A new study has linked processed and red meat to have as many carcinogens as tobacco products. Studies show that over time, consumptions of these products could lead to cancer.
Since the beginning of the Republican 2016 primary race, Donald Trump has been leading the polls. But for the first time in months, Trump has fallen behind with 22%, putting Ben Carson in first place, who is leading the primary votes with 26%. Since the 2016 primary election started, Carson and Trump has been running a close race, leading the other candidates struggling to keep up. Carson took the lead by beating Trump in some polls by double digits, leading in the Iowa race.
Point Park University students were promised access to the spring 2016 course schedule on Point Web 2 weeks ago. Honor students have been the most concerned since they can begin scheduling today. The course book became available this past Tuesday, much later than originally promised.
When it comes to Pittsburgh, there are a lot of things commonly associated with Yinzers. You might think Heinz ketchup, or how about terrible towels? But perhaps nothing says Yinzers more than pierogies. So it's no surprise that we have an entire festival dedicated to the polished treats this fall. Pittsburgh hosted the 3rd annual Pierogi Fest at Stage AE. It brought in more than 30 food trucks and restaurants that created special foods especially for the event. There were pierogi-themed activities, and the Pittsburgh Pierogies even stopped by.
It has something to do with pierogies, honestly. They had a few games, paintings for like little kids, and that's what I noticed. Oh, they had a photo booth that you could like dress up and take pictures in. Everything was like, it has something to do with pierogies, honestly. They had a few games, paintings for like little kids, and that's what I noticed. Oh, they had a photo booth that you could like dress up and take pictures in.
Of course, the food trucks showed up. Oh My Grill had a pierogi grilled cheese, and Pittsburgh taco trucks offered a pierogi taco. They're already planning for the 4th annual Pierogi Fest next fall.
It's not always the best thing to take your dog hunting with you. 25-year-old Allie Carter went hunting with her dog Trigger in northern Indiana over the weekend and got an unpleasant surprise. Carter laid her 12-gauge shotgun on the ground with the safety off, and her dog stepped on the trigger, striking Carter in her foot. Carter was taken to the hospital and later released with minor foot injuries.
Coming up on Point News, find out about the Star Wars fan film that was filmed right here in Pittsburgh with a Point Park connection.
And find out about a brand new app launching today in Pittsburgh that's making it easier for you to pay to park. And all you need is your smartphone. Those stories and more straight ahead.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't stop. Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
We know you're wondering what the A-list celebrities are up to.
Well, here at Entertainment on Point, we're wondering too.
Have you heard about James Franco and Seth Rogen's new movie?
No, but have you heard Beyonce's new single?
Did you see what she was wearing on that red carpet?
Honey, that was not cute.
Did you see what happened on Scandal this week?
No, I was too busy keeping up with the Kardashians. No matter what your guilty pleasure is, we've got you covered.
Entertainment on Point. Get to the point of pop culture.
Yeah!
Are you always on the lookout for ways to make it easier to pay for your parking meters? Well, now you are in luck. Mayor Peduto's office is currently unveiling the Pay by Phone app in Market Square. The app is called GoMobilePittsburgh.com. It covers the entire city of Pittsburgh. The app allows drivers to enter the location code posted on the parking meter, as well as their duration, and pay with their Visa or Master debit card. Text notifications will also be sent out to alert if you're approaching the end of your time.
The convention center went to the dogs this weekend, and the cats, and many other adorable pets. Point News reporter Caitlin Caborciero has the look inside the annual Pet Expo.
At the Pittsburgh Pet Expo 2015, I'm here at the booth of the Steel City Reptile Expo, where it's not just dogs who are the majority at this expo, but also reptiles and ferrets I've seen so far. Prince and Lucas were fish out of water while visiting this year's Pet Expo, but they sure made a splash.
I figured it would be fun to get them out and let them run around, and they love dogs and they love cats. So.
And it's interesting the attention you get. You'd be surprised how many people don't know what they are.
Just so you know, they're ferrets. 200 exhibitors came to promote products they promise will make your pets' lives better. It also included pet adoption centers and rescues, as well as expert advice from veterinarians. The highlight may have been some friendly competitions for the pups, including dock jumping, pet costume contests, and this will look great on Christmas cards. While dogs were the main focus, there were other featured pets as well. Ever consider bringing reptile into your family?
We're trying to increase awareness as reptiles as pets because they're great low-maintenance pets, and they're great for kids who have allergies to dogs or cats because they're hypoallergenic. Dogs have visited, but they're perfectly fine. We just keep an eye on them to make sure they're not too curious.
Prince and Lucas may have been the questionable spectators of the evening, but that doesn't mean they didn't enjoy themselves with their canine friends.
I like playing with them and then smelling them and all that, but the dogs get kind of scared because they're not sure what it is.
Pittsburgh has been taken by storm by pets and pet lovers alike. The David L. Lawrence Center is surrounded by all different types of animals, including dogs, lizards, ferrets, and iguanas, including which I have at least petted all of them. This is Caitlin Caborciero at the David L. Lawrence Center for the 2015 Pet Expo, bringing you more Point Park news.
Those animals were so adorable.
They were. How cute was that for them to interact with each other? Coming up on Point News, it's Halloween this weekend. Find out if the weather will cooperate with your festivities.
And find out what the Steelers' preparations are for taking on their rival, the Cincinnati Bengals, this Sunday.
One of the most anticipated films of the year.
Here at the Pioneer Sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs. Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I had a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the questions?
Just, like,
It's always a
answer me
question.
look.
It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine.
Blaine.
Blaine. Freshman, you can't find any good ones anymore.
Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship and a freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
One of the most anticipated films of the year, Star Wars The Force Awakens, is set for release on December 18th.
The next chapter in the long-running science fiction franchise is almost guaranteed to be a box office hit. Point News reporter Nick Versilla talked with one fan who went above and beyond to celebrate its legacy.
Star Wars has been around for a long time. In fact, in 2017, it'll celebrate its 40th anniversary. And for many people, it's not just a cultural phenomenon or a successful film series. It's a way of life. In fact, many people, including Martin Spitznagel from Mount Lebanon, decide to take it a step further by creating their own fan film.
Whoa. Son, get up here!
Yeah, what's going on?
Whoa!
Martin Spitznagel has been a fan of Star Wars since he was 10 years old, and has always had the dream of creating his own fan film. After many years, he decided to center the film, called Hunt for the Holocron, on two brothers who get caught up in an adventure to find an artifact called a holocron. Spitznagel says the inspiration behind the film was based on his relationship with his younger brother Mark, who is a Point Park alum.
That was the genesis of this story. It was about two brothers who get caught up in a, galactic drama and have to sort of find their relationship and save the day.
The film was shot in Mount Lebanon from 2003 through November 2012. In addition to writer and director, Spitznagel served as an actor in the film, as well as an editor and one of the film's composers. The film premiered at the Hollywood Theater in Dormont on April 20th, 2013, in which there was a red carpet premiere, audience Q&A, and an after-party. Spitznagel says that the response to the film has been largely positive.
And we created it for fans of Star Wars. So when people say, I liked it, or it was great, or it's one of the better fan films I've seen, my goal was to capture some of the excitement of the original trilogy, and I think we succeeded.
Like millions around the world, Spitznagel was excited to see The Force Awakens and believes that Star Wars will last another 40 years to inspire countless more generations of fans.
I'm very excited for my son to be old enough to watch Star Wars. I think there's something universal about it that is optimistic and fantastically imaginative that it's hard to imagine a world without Star Wars.
Reporting for Point News, I'm Nick Versilla.
The film is free to watch on YouTube or thehuntfortheholocron.com. I'm excited to see the remake, were you?
I'm very excited to see where the storyline is going to go. I'm also excited to see all the different Star Wars costumes there's going to be this year, but I wonder how the weather is going to cooperate for that.
We have been getting colder temperatures this week. Will we have an impact on your Halloween weekend?
Let's send it over to Maggie McCauley for the Weekend Outlook. Maggie?
Thanks, guys. It's been pretty clear temperatures so far. Today we're looking at a high of 57 with a low of 41 and no chance of rain. Let's take a look ahead at your Halloween weekend outlook. We're going to be looking at 54 degrees on Friday, 37 on Friday for the low. There are some clouds, some sunshine, and that leads right into Halloween with a high of 59, a low of 49. There's no chance of rain, so you won't have to worry about taking umbrellas or wearing coats over your Halloween costumes. And then we do go into some chances of rain on Sunday. That's all for your forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Maggie. Ben Roethlisberger says he isn't getting his hopes up about returning to the field this weekend. The quarterback pushed through a full practice yesterday for the first time since injuring his knee in late September. Whether or not he'll play in the upcoming game is still yet to be determined, depending on how his knee reacts to the increased workload. The Steelers will play the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals at Heinz Field on Sunday. The Penguins traveled to Washington, D.C. last night to take on the Washington Capitals. Fans of both teams were excited to see captain Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin face off in the weekly rivalry night matchup. The game was scoreless until early in the third period when the Capitals took a 1-0 lead. The Penguins came back immediately with 2 goals in less than a 2-minute span, propelling the team to a 3-1 win. The Pens return home tonight to go up against the Buffalo Sabres at 7. The Point Park women's soccer team defeated Carlow University on Monday at Highmark Stadium. The final score was 6-1, and this win ties the school record for most wins in a season. This was the team's senior night, and 4 of the 11 graduating seniors scored in the game. The Pioneers will travel to Asbury University on October 31st for a major KIAC game. As for men's soccer, the Pioneers added to their 4-game winning streak with a victory over Asbury University on Tuesday. The game went into double overtime, but in the end, Point Park pulled ahead with a final score of 2-1. The team clinched 3rd place in the KIAC tournament with the win. The Pioneers have one more regular season game on Saturday against Ohio Christian University.
That does it for this week's Point News. Be sure to join us next Thursday live at 2 p.m.
Have a great week, everybody.